which is the best psychological thriller movie out there. Here's one I never hear talked about. Coherence. It is a low-budget film, but blew my fucking mind more than nearly any other blockbuster film. I love Coherence. The low budget, in my opinion, actually helps this film, because the limited sets, effects, and camera work make it feel much more intimate and real in a way. They didn't try to go crazy, they worked with what they had, and it was fantastic. There is a fantastic interview, https://youtube.com/watch?v=uxwisks he does with Patton Oswalt, in which he goes into a lot of detail about how the movie was made. They ran it like a LARP, the actors all improvised all of their lines, and did what their characters would do. They shot a ton of extra video, and edited it down to a coherent left parenthesis story. The lead actor didn't even realize she was the main character until she saw the final film. Imagine doing all that acting, and realizing when you watch the movie, that you're definitely not the main character. Rear Window. The scene where she breaks into the murderer's apartment. My wife says every time she sees it, she believes this time she'll be caught. That's great filmmaking. My wife says every time. She cries at him. Misery. The book is amazing too. Stephen King has a way of writing and describing the situations that his characters are in that is second to none. Kathy Bates was brilliant in that film. I made the mistake of listening to Stephen King audiobooks on road trips, which led to me hearing the later chapters of Gerald's Game while driving across a nothing but swamp for the next 40 miles highway at like 1 a.m. Atmosphere 10/10, but do not recommend. Same. Read Misery in the middle of winter, while I was out at my uncle's old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, Missouri. Nothing I have read since has put me on edge, so much as that whole environment/book combo. 1 hour photo. I worked at a photo lab when this movie came out, and our entire store went to see it on opening night. No way you would have been caught. Also, the bathroom scene is the cringiest thing I've ever seen. I worked at a lab later, but didn't see it until I worked there. Had one of our regulars ask about that movie, and my opinion on it as a photo lab worker. He wouldn't have been caught at work for printing extra copies was not the answer she was looking for, and for anyone curious, it's not even anything malicious or negligent. Most labs often reprint photos if they come out with bad color, too green, too yellow, too blue, too pinkish, etc. At least the ones who give a shit. No lab manager is going to be checking print counts versus ordered prints. That shit would be folly, and is calculated into operating costs. Only way he'd be caught would be someone seeing him do it, in person or in surveillance cameras. I worked in a photo lab when this movie came out too. One of the guys I worked with had a whole ass photo album of naked girl photos that had been developed while he worked there. I'm talking dozens. Anyone who thought that didn't happen was fooling themselves. I worked at Walmart for a number of years, and the photo lab guys had the same thing. 2 different envelopes under the names Jerry Springer and Chris Griffin. If they got nudes, they got reprinted and put in there. I thought Prisoners with Hugh Jackman was extremely underrated. That movie was so damn good. You'll be on the edge of your seat the whole time. Paul Dano gave a captivating performance with minimal dialogue. He always plays such a good creeper. He was also great in taking lives. He'd make a great McPoyle. You will call her. The Silence of the Lambs is way up the list. I really think it's unfortunate that Ted Levine's performance was overshadowed by Anthony Hopkins. Hopkins deserves a ton of credit for that role, but Levine's acting when the girl in the well is begging for her mommy is top-notch. The few seconds where you can see that he's coming close to humanizing her is incredible. To be fair, he did eventually end up very high in the San Francisco paid after that. Leland Stottlemyre, that's Captain Stottlemyre, and Monk didn't have a clue.